Defining your target audience. Now, that's a challenge for startup businesses as well as established businesses. Why is it a challenge? Well, it's because many businesses are just too vague about who their target audience is. The response I get a lot is when I ask a business person about their target audience, well, they tell me that everyone is their target audience. And you know what? That just can't possibly be true. But also, most small businesses just can't market to everyone simply because they don't have millions of dollars to market to everyone. Nike spends billions and billions of dollars. And you know what? They still don't reach everyone. So when a business wrongly thinks that their target audience is everyone, or just have not defined that target audience clearly enough, well then when they're crafting their marketing messages to reach them, their messages become so vague that no one is motivated to pay attention to those messages. So when that happens, a business person becomes extremely frustrated with the marketing. They say, that's it, marketing doesn't work, I'm not doing it anymore. But the fact of the matter is, marketing does work. It's just that if you aren't talking to the right people with the right message and using the right medium, then yeah, it isn't going to work. So defining your target audience is a multi-step process that we've broken down into little bite-sized pieces. We have multiple online sessions that you can look at when it comes to your target audience, and we encourage you to take them in the appropriate order. Thanks for watching. If you saw the session on consumer behavior, you'll note that you saw the same introduction in this session. And I'm okay with you seeing it several times because repetition is good in reminding you how important it is to define that target audience and about the turbulence that may lie ahead if you don't. And the consumer behavior session provided you with an understanding of how savvy and finicky these consumers can be with their rational and irrational decisions. This is the second session about defining your target audience. And yes, these target audience members are very perplexing. If they only knew all the ways that we could help them, they'd beat a path to our doors. But isn't that the ongoing problem? Your target audience may not even know about your product, service, or business. Or they may not know about your business, but haven't got any idea what it is that you do. Or the worst thing that could happen to a business, your target audience doesn't even know they need your product or service. Now keep in mind that even if you're a business that's marketing to other businesses, that's called B2B, you have to remember there is always a person who's making those decisions. So when you're thinking about a target audience, you have to do actually double duty, understanding the business and understanding who's making the decisions. The importance of defining your target audience is simply to save you time, money, and frustrations. In trying to talk to everyone, that's just a waste of time and money, and you will become frustrated. Talking to the wrong people will result in the same wasting of time and money, and being not sure who you're talking to will simply create so much frustration, you'll throw your hands up in the air and quit trying to reach potential customers. All those issues are what we're going to try to help you avoid. In trying to fine-tune or narrow down who your target audience is, you will need to do some basic research. Ideally, what you're trying to do is take the marketplace and create segments of who are your potential customers. Then once you have those segments, you break them down even further until you have a very good understanding of what makes that segment tick. Basic demographic information can be collected easily enough. Any economic development office for your region will have that, or the city or community that you live in will have some statistics. If you have a post-secondary institution in your area, there are sure to have business students who've had to do some sort of research on demographics. Or if you live in Canada, Statistics Canada has lots and lots of information, as well as organizations like Community Futures and Western Economic Development. All those resources are free with a bit of work to dig them out. Or you can hire someone to do what we call primary research, and that's collecting exactly the information you need on your demographic group of target customers. But that costs money. In trying to figure out who has a need for your product or service, you also need to think about who's most likely to buy it. Demographic information is the best place to start. Now, demographic information includes their age, their gender, income, education, marital or family status, what they do for a living, and their ethnic background. That means there's lots of people to weed out and fewer to focus on. And the least amount of people that you have to focus on means the least amount of time and money that you'll spend in reaching them. But is having only your target's demographic information enough? Using these photos, let's say our target is women. Let's define that more. Women who are nurses. Let's define that even more. Women who are nurses who each have 2 kids and they each have 1 dog. Look at how already we focused and narrowed down our target audience from women to women who are nurses with 2 kids and a dog. That's a pretty good definition of our target audience. Or is it? But let's say the dark-haired nurse lives in Whitehorse, Yukon, and the blonde lives in Toronto, Ontario. Do you think that these 2 women have the exact same lives? With the same daily issues? Yeah, I'm thinking traffic congestion in Whitehorse is pretty well the same as in Toronto. Not. Now, all of a sudden, by adding a geographic aspect, we have taken a demographic target and shown that actually these 2 nurses are 2 different people. But wait, can we narrow that target down even more? I know, I hear you saying, I think Linda's going to tell us that we can. Well, we can, for sure. Our nurse who lives in Whitehorse, well, she loves the outdoors. Snow, rain, cold, warm, whatever. She's on her bike or she's hiking or canoeing. She is enjoying that beautiful wilderness of the Yukon. Now our nurse who lives in Toronto, she loves being indoors. She loves scrapbooking. She's on Pinterest big time. She's working on being a gourmet cook. Bottom line, any craft or activity she can do indoors, she's doing it. What we have done is narrowed down our target even further by using what is called psychographics. That's personality, attitudes, values, interests, hobbies, lifestyles. So when we started, we had 2 nurses, each with 2 kids and a dog. Can you see how it is essential to look at geographic and psychographic information alongside with the demographic information to help you get a better understanding of your target audience? Once you can really get inside the head of your target audience, you will be able to craft a message that they will respond to, and you will know what words, phrases, and pictures will motivate your target audience to pay attention to your marketing messages. As mentioned earlier, if you're conducting B2B marketing, this still works for you, as you'd be doing this research on the decision maker of the business that you're wanting to attract. Now, if you're in the tourism industry, your psychographic information is what we call EQ profiles. EQ stands for Explorer Quotient, as defined by the Canadian Tourism Commission. The Commission has done extensive market research to help define the segments of tourism into what we call Explorer types. Now, if you go to our Try Before You Buy section of this website, you'll find a PDF copy of the 2014 Canadian Tourism Commission report on EQ Quotient and a link to their website for future reports. We have other sessions specifically to help tourism properties market themselves, but basically The explorer types are broken into 3 categories: free spirits, cultural explorers, and authentic experiences. These are specific to the Canadian research, but I bet they describe travelers from all over the world. This picture is when Darcy and I were in Sardinia, Italy. I think when we were there, we were free spirits using cultural exploring to find authentic experiences. Sounds good. So let's recap. The second step in defining your target audience is to narrow your audience down into segments. Start first with demographic information, that's age, income, occupation, gender, education, family status. Then break it into geographic. Where do they live? Big city? Small hamlet? What part of the country? What is the area like? And finally, psychographic or explorer quotient. What are their interests, their hobbies, their lifestyle, their values and beliefs? The more you narrow that potential customer down, the easier it is to figure out how to capture their attention so your marketing will break through all the clutter of everyone else's marketing message. And this will save you mega time, huge amounts of frustration, and lots of money.